Imagine doing production quality compositing directly inside Comfyui without damaging your plate at all. And yes, this entire composite was generated in seconds. Hi everyone, I'm Ricky, Senior Compositor working at ILM Disney. Today I'm showing you my upgraded Qwen AI Compositing workflow built on Qwen Image Edit 2509 with Fusion LoRA. Let's jump into the default Qwen Fusion Edit workflow with the LoRA. As we can see here, this is the default workflow, and let's check out the results. Right, I made this quick composite in a different application, which I'll show you later. But let's check out the results. So we can see this is the rough composite, and this is the final composite. But we can see the background image is shifted. It's a bit moved up, and we can also see the changes in the color. The dirt looks a bit reddish, right? And we can see the quality is also gone down from the original image. Original image was a bit sharper. The overall output is pretty great. So let's jump into my workflow and see how it is better. So this is my workflow. Please don't be afraid with how big it is. It's actually pretty simple. I just separated all the sections out so it's easier and not overwhelming with all the wires going everywhere. First of all, everything is the same, right? The Qwen Edit 2509, and then this is the LoRA, Fusion LoRA, and then this is 4-step lightning LoRA, which makes it super quick to render. And let's move forward. So the main difference in my workflow is, one thing is we have a compositor tool. First of all, we can do a background remove of our subject so that we don't have to go in Photoshop to do that. And another one is from a different artist. I found this amazing compositor tool, which I will give a quick demo of how to use it. And then I also incorporated the in-paint workflow, which makes sure that none of the other areas are affected, which is a big issue with the original workflow, which I showed. We can see over here, the background is getting changed, the color is in the position. So my workflow makes sure the background doesn't change at all. In fact, because of the in-paint workflow, the colors match better of our subject with my workflow. So let's check it out. So let's go, and then we just, in this step 1, select background, which we did, and then we will resize it to anything close to 1024 pixels. And then this is our subject, and you can see all of these images are pretty big. I shot this on my phone. So these are pretty big images. And then we select the image, and then we run image remove tool. It selects the subject automatically. It's very smart. It always works with people, with car, with pets, with anything. It's very smart. And then it selects the subject and puts it with alpha. And then this is where the fun begins. So this compositing tool automatically has, you can see you can apply multiple objects and place them wherever you want. So once you do the first and second step, you come to third step and then hit continue. And then don't worry about these nodes. It's just a bug. I have all the nodes installed, and I'm pretty sure you do, but it just shows, but our workflow still works pretty good. So first thing is I'm gonna position, and then that's another bug with this. The background is always off, so you have to always reposition your background a bit. So I'm gonna do it like this, and then I'm gonna select the subject, and then I'm gonna roughly line it up. Okay, I think this looks good. I'm trying to line up with the textures on the ground. You don't have to. It's smart enough to know. I'll show a few other examples where not just the lighting, but also perspective it matches. It cannot match like crazy perspective, but it does fix a lot of the stuff. And then once you do that, you don't need to hit continue. And then you save this if you want to render out this composite, right? It's a rough composite. If you want to save it out for comparison purposes, then you can save it out, but you don't need to. And then over here, we're going to hit play again so that it takes up the new image from here. And then we go in, right click, open in mask editor, and then we mask around it. Make sure the mask is slightly bigger. You want to mask out the areas where you think the shadows will be. So I'm going to make the mask a bit bigger and then fill it in, and then make sure there are no spots in the or holes in the mask. And let's make it slightly bigger. Yeah, I think I'm happy. You can always come back and change the mask if you need to. Let's hope we don't need to. So these are the trigger words. Let's see how it does just with the trigger words. And I believe the trigger word is all it means is dissolving the image, correcting the product's perspective, and lighting to blend it into the background. Okay, and we don't need to put anything in the negative prompt. And then over here we can select this and we can set it to play. So this is another issue with this compositor node. Sometimes you have to again redo it. My apologies. I'm going to look into the code of this and see if I can fix the bugs. But right now, we're just going to move ahead and redo this quickly. And then again, place this, and then again. Fill the mask in and slightly bigger. Yeah, I think that's good. And then hit save. And now we hit preview again. And we can see it's looking okay. Let's move forward and let's click this. And it's going to take some time to render. All right, let's see. So yeah, we can see it has not changed the background. There's just this area. It has made the car a bit bigger, but it's just trying to match the perspective. And I think it did a pretty good job with matching the perspective. To fix this shadow, what you can do is you can come back here and then repaint the mask and make it a bit bigger. And this is what exactly I was telling, that sometimes you have to come in and make the mask bigger. And then we're gonna try again. And then you can see it did a great job with matching the shadows. Yeah. So now you can see how the shadows of the fender falls, and then there are different pieces, and then how the shadow bends around the wheel. Even in the back, you can see there is a step ladder under the door, and the shadow is not just straight, it's actually giving a proper shape. And the lighting also on the truck is pretty good. So I'm very happy with the result, right? And then the last step is this one, where you just simply select this and cue it. So it outputs the image in your directory. Let's also take a look at some other examples. So this is the one that I have on my GitHub, and you can see it has added some extra details because I prompted it to add those details. And you can do that too. You can ask it to make it more muddy or match the environment, because you can see there's some mud in the background, so it adds that too. Moving forward, you can see same thing, like this image. The car is not matching perspective wise, right? And I tried to do a bit of color correction. I thought it would help, but it doesn't really matter if you do any color correction or not. You just need to give it a rough comp, like I have over here, rough composite. And then this was the final image. And you can see how well perspective it matched, the lighting it matched, the shadows is perfect. It kept the lights on. It, I guess, understands in the image, original image, the lights were on, so it understands that too. And then this is another example. Same thing. I made the rough composite over here, and then the output, again, it matched the perspective, the reflections from the sky, you know, the shadows. It just works brilliantly. And if I talk about this, I want to mention a few things. This workflow is a little heavy. I'm working on RTX 5090 and more than enough RAM. I have 128 gigs of RAM and RTX 5090, which is pretty good. But if you're running into memory issues, you can always use the GUF versions or the smaller models. You don't have to use the full precision model. And the other thing is, you can always split up your workflow. For example, you can have a separate workflow of this. Actually, you can also do, I think, like 8 gigs is more than enough to do the first 3 workflows in a separate workflow, and then bring in the image using just a load image node, and then mask it out, and then replace this, right? That way you're not doing everything in one go. So yeah, try it out, and yeah, just share the details, and if you find anything good use of this, just hit me up. Thank you, everyone.